Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome to another stream. I hope everyone can hear me well. And also, Ramadan Mubarak to everyone who's observing it. This time, we're going to keep the live stream a bit short. We're going to probably go towards 45 minutes or 1 hour. And as the last time, feel free to join the stream to ask your questions about web dev. And while you do so, I'm going to also be just announcing a few things that I've been working on, and then we'll just continue working on some stuff. So, as you can see, the header here as well, or the footer, you can join the live stream link to ask any questions. I'm going to share that in the chat. There we go. And there we go. So you should be able to see the link in the chat as well. Last time what I did was I mentioned in the chat that whoever is coming on the live stream has to have the camera on. I think that is still preferred, but yeah, you probably don't need it, but I think it is still preferred that if you join the live stream, you have the camera on. If you cannot for some reason, then that's fine. And you can see the link right here if you want to join the live stream and ask questions. That's what we are going to do. In the meantime, I'll also share one thing. That I've been working on. And again, feel free to ask any questions. So I'm going to start sharing one of the things. There we go. Where are you? Here. So one of the things that I've been recently working on is this. I want to share this with you. But this can be applied to a bunch of other books as well. So this is something that I was working on last night, and I thought it would be interesting to have something that I can take notes with. So this can be applied to books as well, but this is specifically was created for Quran. So what you can do with this application is you can take notes, and then you can combine those notes at one single place as well. So for example, you can sign in with your Google account, and there we go. And then you can create passes. So the idea for me was whenever we try to take notes, we essentially go and have it on notebooks and etc. So what if we could have a single way of doing that and then can be shared across devices? That was the idea. Patrick says hello Patrick, how's it going? And the last time I had, we were able to bring the camera a bit nicer, also increase the size a bit like this. So this is more visible. I think this looks much nicer. We can also have a radius as well. Maybe we can save this setting so I don't have to do this again. But anyways, the idea was that, for example, if I'm going through the Quran in 2025, I can essentially take notes of the verses, etc. And I can save those. For example, I could mention, this verse talks about believers. And then I could go ahead and mention the verses. So maybe the surah and then the 100th verse. And I can save the notes. And you can see the notes come here as well. So you can save the notes. And then you can view the verse yourself as well when you click it. So you view the translation as well as this. And this is coming from the free Quran API. So yeah, this was a project. This is live. This is open sourced as well. I don't think this is public, or the code is public yet, but I will do that as well. So if you want, you can basically contribute to it or change something as well. But again, the stream itself is about QnA. So I just wanted to share, this is one of the things that I've been working on, and I'm excited to share this with you folks on how this works. When you're working with the browser, ideally, it should also allow you to have transcriptions, so you could give your voice note, and then it should transcribe it here in the messages. But on the phones, for some reason it doesn't work, so I'm going to see why that's the case. Let me quickly try this in a new tab. Da, 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 da. No, so something is causing this to crash. Service worker responded, hugging face, quantize on next. I believe it's causing because of, let's see, storage, clear site data, and I want to also do a empty cache and hot reload. Let's see what this does. Siddharth says, hello, I'm a fresher looking for a software development job besides, sorry, give me 1 second. I'm going to bring the question again. Hello, I'm a fresher looking for SDE job besides DS and competitive programming. What else should I focus on to grab the attention of hiring managers? You should have a lot of projects. I think I've mentioned this several times on my streams, that ideally you should have a bunch of projects in your portfolio. You should also try to do a bit of networking, so connect with industry professionals as well, go to meetups, join Discord communities, etc. But when you want to really if you want an ideal situation where recruiters are attracted automatically towards you, then you should have portfolio, you should have things to share, you should be posting on LinkedIn about whatever you're learning, you're building, and all of those things. Because right now, when we have a situation where the jobs are much lower and we have a lot of competition, and we also have a lot of layoffs happening as well, in this particular situation it's really hard to get a job. And the one of the ways that you can attract recruiters is by showing off your projects, showing off your learning method, showing off that you're passionate about what you want to do, uh, and especially the proof of why they should hire you. I think that's the biggest thing. So I hope that answers. Brother, what to start after React.js? Hamad, start building projects once you have learned React.js. Because if you cannot show that you are good with React.js, there's no point in picking something else. So you can look into, once you really feel that okay, I'm right now an expert in React.js, you know how to work with client side React, you know Next.js, for example. You can also start looking into Next.js, by the way, if you haven't. But the idea is that you look into client side rendering, you look into server side rendering, you look into advanced concepts in React, how to structure your application, how to architect your applications. So React is not something that you learn in like 3 months. It could be a lot more, to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna try my application on the side and take more questions from the chat. Give me 1 second. Okay, something really broke in my application. I'm gonna fix that, but let's take more questions. Siddhant says, thanks, here's my project which I've hosted. I can't really see any links on my chat. But yeah, we probably won't be able to preview projects. But if you have projects, then you should post on LinkedIn. Tamil Kumaran says, hey, I'm just curious. I'm interested in becoming a full stack dev from front end dev. How do you, do you have any advice for me as my new role requires to handle new responsibilities? I think when you grow as a developer, you have two options. One is that your work provides you opportunities to do so, and the other is that you somehow do it yourself on the side. So you create projects, experiment with some things, and then grow your skills from there. So I think those are the two possibilities. If your work allows you to do it, then you go with that. If your work doesn't allow you to do it, then you should start creating projects on the side, experiment, create something, anything useful. And it should not be something that's absolutely new. It could be something that that you have a lot of solutions for is still, but you're creating an open source version of it. For example, I don't know, meal planner, gym planner. You can have, I don't know, shopping list, bucket list for travel, anything that involves front end and back end both. And then you build it, you make it open source. So a lot of people use it. They give you all their prayers, and they talk good about you, they share your project, and those are the things that will give you a lot of exposure as well. So the way to be an expert in more responsibilities is actually to get more responsibilities and act on it. So there's no shortcut. The way to do it is just practicing. Tamil says, by the way, I got that job I was selling in your previous stream. Awesome. Really happy for you. Can we have some clapping maybe? Congratulations. Abdullah says, Assalamu alaikum, Hassan Bhai. What are your thoughts on the Odin project? Have you heard of it? Yeah, I've heard of it. I did not use it myself ever. I didn't get the chance to do it, but I've heard good stories. Anything that gets you on track, allows you to practice, I think it's good. Also, just to be clear, I don't think it really matters what I think about projects. You can see that a lot of people actually follow that, and they're really happy with the result from Odin project as well. So absolutely, it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. Again, I'm gonna remind the chat that we have, if you want to join the live stream, that is, you join with me right now here, and you want to ask questions, you can join it via the link, and you can ask questions as well. Tamal says, thank you, no problem. Really happy for you. And I can quickly share the link again in the chat. In the meantime, I'm also going to fix. Now that I see I can't really work with the note taking application, I think something went wrong, because when I was working, by the way, guys, have you tried out this tool called Lovable? You might have heard about V0, etc., but have you tried Lovable? It's also pretty nice. I used it to create to work on the application that I was showing you. But for some weird reason it doesn't work, so I'm gonna check why that doesn't work. It's hard to completely rely on AI these days, or any days, so to say. So I'm gonna share my screen. Shivam, can you turn on your camera? I can bring you on the screen. Or if you cannot, you can just type in the private chat, and I can still bring you. I just want to make sure that I hear you. All right, so you see speech recognition here doesn't really work. So we're gonna see why that happened and what caused it. I'm gonna probably do a git revert. Git log. Ali Ahmed says, when would you teach MERN stack technology? I already have a video on MERN stack. I don't know if you have seen it or not, but I already have a video on MERN stack. If I go to MERN, you see this. I can share this in the chat. This is an 8 hours video that talks about MERN. Shivam, are you ready to come on stage? I don't see a message from you. I have idea regarding idea. Okay, maybe I can bring you and we can chat. Yes. Hello, hello.
Okay.
Hey, how's
Hello,
it going?
brother. How are you? Good morning.
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. I just share my screen. Okay, so let me say this. BDC share. My screen is visible, bro.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. This is a sample one of the AI based application where the I just put the David decimal classification module and the books and their data in one
Hmm.
of the rack and users can directly classify their books in the library. All the books are classified based on their subject or based on their title. User have to currently user have to classify based on the already someone classify similar type of classify by other university, or they can like classify by this module. This is a very unique topic, and I have wants to currently accuracy around 90 to 95%, but I want to increase this accuracy. Can I?
Okay.
Can you suggest any this project?
So, if I understand your question, that is how you can increase the accuracy
Yeah.
of this project.
Yes. Yes.
I think it's hard to say without really checking like what data you have trained the model on. And
Okay.
you're using OpenAI, right?
No, DeepSeek.
DeepSeek.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not really sure if DeepSeek provides us a way to fine tune models. Have you checked into fine tuning with DeepSeek or?
No, it is a basic reg-based model where
Okay,
just put the PDF and they just give the
got
answer
you.
from their database.
Got you. Okay, and what is the top K that you're using in your settings? Do you know the number?
No, I don't know
Okay, so
those.
you look into this thing called top K, which is
Okay,
essentially when you use a reg solution, you
okay,
look into how many matching data points it
okay,
fetches when you're using reg. So if you put a too low value on it, then
okay,
it doesn't match good things. But if you put a good enough number, which is usually 40 to 50, then
okay,
it behaves better. I think the what you're trying to do is it would really depend on the PDF or the data
okay.
that you're giving it.
Yes,
If you really, really want good accuracy, I think you would have to go with fine-tuned model. But
okay,
if you are okay with what you're getting right now, which is you
yes,
mentioned 90% something, I
yes.
think your solution is good enough, to be honest. But look into the top K, I would say.
Okay. And I'm just the get the R1 score. I calculate the R1 score, and the R1
Hmm.
score is around point 9, point 3, 9.4.
Okay. Okay. Then I understand. Okay. But yeah, you can look into top K in that case.
Okay,
Okay. Awesome.
okay, okay.
Thank you for
Thank you.
having us.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Good. Shazib says, hello, hello. Hello, Shazib, to you as well. So Ali, I think I answered the question by linking the Mernsec crash course. So how about we? By the way, feel free to ask any questions in the chat, as I mentioned before. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go and try to revert, fix how we hide. I think this was the one, so I'm gonna revert to this commit, or let's do git reset to this. Now, what we have in here is I think not even in the main, but we have here we aha okay. So we changed this. That's why. Look at this. So that's why you can't really rely on AI completely because this is not what I had. We'll get back to it in just a minute. So Tamil says, I recently saw your video about testing. What do you think about TDD and how much testing is necessary? And what are all the things you usually test when it comes to front end development? You're asking if it's unit testing. So test driven development is obviously, um, I would say, when it comes to like maturity of the team, if your team is actually doing TDD, then it's really, really mature. They know the risks. They're going for the longer run. They don't want a lot of tech debt. They don't really want things to break. But it takes a bit of patience and also some practice to actually do TDD, because it's a different, completely different paradigm. You need to think different. You need to have the timelines according to TDD. I mean, you need to have a bit more buffer, and you're not 100% focusing on shipping things really fast. So it's important. It gives you really, really good results, and it depends from team to team, like where they draw the line of what to test. In my teams, what I've done is we have done unit testing always, because that's really important. And the developers usually do that. Then we have either integration tests, or we have integration tests and end-to-end tests. Almost all the time we have the end-to-end tests. The integration tests are based on teams, to be honest. So what we usually do is that if we have different components, we try to see if multiple components interact together nicely, which is the interaction test. And when we are testing like a user, like opening the browser and clicking a bunch of places and then expecting some results, that's when you would want to have the end-to-end test to test actually like the user. So yeah, those are the kind of tests. So you have integration test, you have end-to-end test, you have unit test, and the integration part of the test is a gray area. A lot of people have completely different opinions on what an integration test should be or is, and that depends on from team to team, to be honest. So yeah, I hope that answers the question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually revert a couple of things, because I don't. It's using the quantized version of it. Let's do things step by step. I'm going to actually copy this guy, ONX community, copy the change lines, and we're going to just revert one thing at a time. So I'm going to get rid of this and change the whisper ID, so we can see if this actually makes things work. All right, so you see automatically we have the recording working fine. So I'm going to refresh now. You see? And now I should be able to sort of transcribe it as well. So let's try it out. Test, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. So it tried its best. Let's try something else. A quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Good. So the transcription is there still. Good. So I can actually try to push it. I think I should not change anything else. We could look into actually something. Let's try to do this with an iPhone, so we see how it behaves with that as well. So we're gonna go to our voice recorder. Wait, voice recorder, and it's iOS. So we do have the iOS checks here. Let's try. I'm gonna take the questions in the meantime as well. Tamal says, thank you, Esther, and appreciate the work you're doing. No problem. By the way, those of you who don't know, there's an Angular book coming pretty soon. I think I shared that in one of my live streams as well. Hopefully, if I get enough time and energy, I will finish it, hopefully, right after Ramadan. I have some other obligations in the meantime. Shazeb Salahuddin, Shazeb, let's have a look at what are you saying. I started web development and gained some good information on HTML, CSS, and JS. What should I do next? Should I go for React or Angular, or any other advice from your side? One of the advices that I usually give is it depends on what you want to do. If you're only looking for upgrading your skill, then you can go to React and start learning React. If you want to have a job or you're seeking job, then you should focus on creating portfolios. By portfolio, I mean applications that actually do something. For example, I was just sharing my screen, right? So this is something that I right now have a proof as as something that I've built, and I can share this with people and say, I know web development. This is what you should be doing if you really want to work with something that gets you a job. So it depends. Again, if you want to focus on If you want to focus on getting a job, build projects. If you want to just continue learning, then you can do it. But I would also say, in even in that regard, when you're working with React, you can still build applications. Also, if you want to go in a company that's a big company, it's most likely to use Angular. And if you're going in a startup or a scale up, it's very likely that you're going to have React.js in there. So that's the stat usually. So based on that, you can make a decision. Shivam says currently academic researchers are facing a problem in deciding which journals to submit their research articles to. If you train a model based on the scope of journal publication datasets, after that users enter their abstract or keywords, and the AI model will suggest suitable journal names based on the training. Okay. And research publication of abstract journal name. Okay. But what's your question? I understand your statements. Alimam says Ramadan Mubarak Hasan Bhai. Ramadan Mubarak to you as well. Let's hope we make the best of it. Can we get a video of NX, Angular, and Nest.js? Ooh, interesting. There's actually a video that's gonna be coming soon. The very next video that I'm hopefully going to work on. I have some videos in line for YouTube, interesting ones, but the big one that I'm working on is going to be. I don't think it's NX, or maybe it is NX. Yeah, it's NX, Angular, and Nest.js. So you're right on track. The next video is going to be that one. The next big tutorial will be actually that. So let's just wait for it. What is the project and is it live? This is live actually, and I'm going to share the link in the chat as well. Zishan says, Assalamu alaikum Hasan Bhai, wish you happy Ramzan al Mubarak. Ramzan Mubarak to you as well. Zishan, how's it going? Shivam says, is it possible? Yes, it is possible. If you fine tune a model and train the data and then you do what you just said, yeah, absolutely, that's possible. Tamil, do you wanna come on the stage? I can bring you to the stage, and we can have a chat. Hey, how's it going? If you're not comfortable, you can also tell, and I can hide you from the screen. But I think the way people are joining on the stream, you just join, you just turn on your camera or send me a private message, and then I can bring you on stage. So yeah, maybe you're trying to set up your stuff. If you want to come back on the stage, just let me know. You don't have a webcam, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to turn on your camera. You can still ask question if you want. If you want to come on stage, of course. So the project that I was sharing is this one. Let's also push the code so this gets deployed. Status. Oh, by the way, I forgot. I was trying to check. Tamil says somehow I'm having issues accessing my microphone. Give me a minute. No problem at all. Once you're ready, let me know. And for everyone else who wants to join the stream, I'm sharing the link in the chat. And for the application itself, it's actually Quran-notes-taker.netlify.application. So this is the link I've shared in the chat now. I'll also share in the chat here. So you can see the link there. And I wanted to check this on iOS just to see that this works. So give me 1 second. I don't know which kind of extension this is that's causing all the issues. We'll see. Is the server running? It is. Let's restart the server. And we go and duplicate this, and we open the iOS view, and hopefully So it comes here, it checks its iOS. I'm checking the messages as well in the chat. Just give me 1 minute to check this and finalize this. So this is iOS, right? So it goes inside and creates the pipeline. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Okay, so we get the pipe. And by the way, in this application, I'm using something called Transformers.js, which also uses AI models, but on a JavaScript level or not, or via JavaScript. And they work within device. So they're pretty nice. Okay, so this should be working. I'm gonna push the code. I don't think there's anything that I missed, to be honest. Only the model was the issue. So git status, git add, commit, fix, voice recorder, use the right transcription model. Wait, git commit, git commit, git push, git push with all the force. There we go. That's a must before pushing. Okay, there we go. So let's get back to the questions, and we are going to go to the app again. If I read the name correctly, Fatma Sarur. I want to start my career in AI, but I don't know where to start from. Great question. There is a really good guy on Udemy. I'm going to show you. There's an amazing course. And when you say you want to start AI, I'm assuming you want to start it correctly and not the shortcuts. So there's this guy called Krish Naik or Krish Nayak on Udemy. Amazing teacher. Like he teaches you like you're a baby. He goes into details, and I try when I create tutorials, I try to be like that as well. But go with the course. It's like I don't know how many hours of course. It's amazing course. So this goes you takes you through the very basics of AI, like what is lemmatization, or I don't know, everything, tokenization, removing stop words, artificial neural networks, recurring neural networks, a lot of good things. So I'm still going through the basic course and the most basics of AI. That's one of the things that you could do, Fatma. And another thing that you can do is you can start looking into things like, Google Studio, Google AI Studio, or Claude, or V0, just to try them out. For example, this is a really good way of trying out AI and AI solutions, or building AI solutions. I'm gonna share in the chat. So here, the 2.0 Flash Experimental is actually free. If you see here, you're going to see the input is $0.00, the output is $0.00. So this you can use for free, and you can configure this to give certain answers. I'm going to quickly show an example of how you can use AI. And when I was working with IOMX, which is my team in Pakistan, we were trying to look into a solution for this. For example, let's say you wanted to create an application that can give you some details based on any question that you're asking. For example, it should give you, let's say, if it's an health application, and it wants, let's say not health application, but an application that forwards you to particular professionals. It could be a teacher, it could be a psychologist, it could be a football coach, whatever. And you wanted to have a chatbot that responds to those messages and gives you an object. For example, here. So here you could say sentiment. So we are going to analyze what is the sentiment of this message. For example, is the user happy, sad? So happy, sad, angry, worried, for example. And this is going to be an array. So an array of these things. So a person could be angry and worried at the same time, or sad and worried at the same time. Then we had a property of professional, right? And we are using something called a structured output, which essentially means that the AI model will give you back a response which is going to be in a particular format. So it's going to be a JSON format. So let's say the professional here is, we have psychologist. Am I typing it correctly? If not, just let me know. Let's say child specialist. We got football coach. What else do we have? We have, I don't know. Um, I don't want to put general physician because that applies to almost everyone. But let's say we have dietitian, right? So those are two things that we want to do. I don't want to make the example too complex, so let's go with these. Now this is the structure output that this AI model will give you. So you go here and you give this system instruction. So you say you are an AI assistant which will help the user with the correct professional to go to, and then you'll also say you'll also analyze the sentiment of the user's message. All right. Now I can go here and say, my leg is broken. I was, I don't know what to do. Right. If I send this, you're going to see that this gives us a response in the particular format. And my camera just died. I'm going to fix my camera. But you can see that this gives us a response in the format that we want to have. So this is just one simple example, and you can use the structured output to do much more. And here you could also say, I don't know why I am gaining so much weight, right? So let's send it. And here you can see professional, dietitian, sentiment, worried. Okay. How to skip past the defenders. So I'm just saying defenders, right? I'm not really even saying football defenders or soccer or whatever. And if I send this, you're going to see that it should analyze it. So here you can see football coach sentiment happy. So in this case, the sentiment is happy because it's not sad, it's not worried. So if we said apart from happy, sad, angry, worried, we could have something like neutral. So none of these, then I think it would just say neutral. So I'm gonna try to send the same message and let's see what it says. I don't think it's gonna say happy. So you see here, it's neutral. So it's not happy, it's not sad. So coming back to what Fatma was saying, this is one of the things that you have right now an AI model ready that can help you. So if I go here and I say get the code, this is where you have the code of all of this, right? If you're using JavaScript, this is the code. If you're using Python, then you can also get the code for that. If you want to make a curl call, you also have that as well right here, for which you need an API key, and the API key can be created from this button, get API key. So you can create an application based on this if you wanted. So this is one of the ways to start looking into AI, like what does they do, and this is useful because you can apply this on your job, if that makes sense. And the second thing is buy the course from this guy. He's really, really good. So I hope this helps. What is the VS Code theme name? It's called Winter is Coming by John Papa. I'm going to share the link in the chat. By John Papa, VS Code. I'm going to share in the chat. There we go. Shahzeb says, bro. What does that mean? Is it on the sound? Shivam says, amazing. We have Joy. Yes. Librarian. You know what? Actually, Shivam, I can actually share this with you. So if I save this, I don't know if I can share this with you, to be honest. Can I edit the code? But you get the drill. I don't have to share it. I'm not really sure if I share this with you, then it would start. I don't know how it handles the payment, so that's why I'm a bit hesitant. Okay, I am going to, yeah, Tamil, I think I can bring you. So let's do it. Hello,
Hi, yes.
hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Appreciate the work you're doing. Thank you so much. And I have a quick question when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to Angular.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about like server-side rendering and like how much we use Angular as a framework for server-side rendering and like getting rid of John JS and then like incremental hydration and things like that with Angular 19 and stuff, you know.
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
Mm,
When it comes to server side rendering, obviously
yeah.
that's useful because of SEO, because of faster rendering times, also because of things that Google rank your application on. For example, cumulative layout shift, the first contentful paint, etc. So when you're doing server side rendering, all of your information is from the server, or you have a initial page from the server, and that really boosts your SEO because the in usual cases when you are running Angular, of course, you have just an empty element in your HTML, and then Angular kicks in and it tries to build the whole tree. But when you're using server-side rendering, you essentially get the whole page back from the server,
Hmm.
which means when the search engine is going to go inside, it's going to get all the HTML elements and it's going to rank your page higher. So that's one of the things. And then also what I said about it's for the user, when you actually get the whole HTML, you don't have jumping things here and there that elements are appearing, etc., because it's server side rendered. So I think in a long run, server side rendering as a technique is obviously something that is really nice. But again, as we usually say in the world of architecture, there's no best architecture. It's just consequence of what you're choosing. So it's just a trade off. So server side rendering has its pros and cons, to be honest. And Angular, where it's going right now, I think it's an amazing direction where we have incremental hydration, we have the server side rendering as well, and it's I really really like the control that it gives you when it comes to like which elements you can hydrate, which elements you can skip the hydration on. And I'm really excited about it. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, that the YouTube video that I'm working on now, as a big sort of relatively big tutorial, it would have a bit of server side rendering and incremental hydration as well using Angular. So yeah.
Yeah, just a follow-up question on that, like because Angular is a Google's framework, right? Like, and can we make you can we take advantage of it, like when it comes to server-side rendering in future? Because at the moment we don't
Mhm.
normally see like a lot of applications having like SSR when it comes to Angular, especially. So since it's Google's framework and most of the people use Chrome as a browser, um, can we take really good advantage and expect like more promises on SSR in future as a framework when it comes to Angular?
I think there's two things here. So
Mm.
one, the SSR
I'm
in
sorry if
general.
my English is a little bit broken.
No,
Like,
no, no. I completely understand you,
yeah,
though. No
yeah,
problem at all.
yeah, okay.
So I think in general, the SSR itself, I think
Mm,
it's not really highly adopted, and one of the reasons for that is that when you do SSR, you're essentially saying that my server is going to work on every single request to build the HTML. So as I said, there's no best architecture. There's always trade-offs. When you sort of offload all of this on the client, which is the default thing, the user's device is basically doing all the work. So the JavaScript is being parsed there, the UI is being built there. Then you have an API call; it just responds with the data, and the front end basically builds everything. So the heavy work in that case in the client side rendering is done by the client. But when you do server side rendering, it's essentially your server will get a bit more loaded. And if you have like millions of daily active users doing thousands of requests per second, then your server is going to have to scale better as well. That's why not a lot of teams or not a lot of products use SSR unless they really really have to, or unless they are capable of doing it, like for example Google. So I think that's one of the biggest things to just consider if SSR is really worth spending the money on the servers to make them capable for doing SSR. And that's why we also have, when we look at SSR from Angular, we have different approaches like client side rendering, we have static generation, and then we have SSR. So to come back to the question, SSR in general is used very less. It doesn't matter if it's Angular or React. The other question that you ask is, can we expect some good promises from Angular, or where do we see Angular going with the SSR? I think the direction as a framework from Angular, and obviously I'm no one to say that based on Angular team, etc., because they know better what the path is. But from my understanding as a Google developers expert, is SSR is still one of the big things that Angular is pushing for, and since it's enabling it for for the community as well as hundreds of applications within Google, I think it's going to make it stable and will add more features and will also enhance more use cases as well. I think in the future we can also expect, no, obviously no promises, but there's a suspicion that we are also going to look into not only SSR but also streaming as well, or HTTP streaming as well. So yeah, I think the future is bright when it comes to SSR and Angular.
That's an interesting news. Thank you so much. And one last question, I heard and also read some articles about like native TypeScript in browsers.
Mhm.
Is it coming, or what can we expect on that note as well? So
Uh, Personally, I've not read the article, to be honest. I do know that Node.js has started supporting the TypeScript out of the box. So if Node.js does it, which means that the V8 engine is doing it, which means that the browser could also start doing it as well. I'm just, connecting the dots, but I'm not 100% sure since I've
yeah,
not
that's
read the
why I wanted
article.
to ask you this question as well.
Yeah,
Pick
yeah,
your
but
brain.
I think yes, it then it could be. I do know that, for example, observables are coming to the browser. That's for sure. I think it's probably coming from 135 version, if I'm not wrong. What is the version right now of Chrome? I'm just gonna double check. Yeah, 133. So observables may come in 135. But I'm gonna have to look into TypeScript. But I suspect, yeah, that could be something that comes pretty soon.
Okay, I'm looking forward. Thank you so much, Hassan. Like, I will
No problem. Thank
continue
you for
watching
joining.
YouTube. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Alrighty. So I want to take some last questions before we wrap up. Shazib says, when we create new paths, the description is resizable text box which goes beyond the screen in case someone is mistakenly drags that far. Aha, okay. I'm assuming you're checking on your phone, of course. And yes, there are some issues. So just to clarify, this is something that I built like yesterday, and using some AI tools like Lovable, and then also fixed the things that I saw that don't really work out of the box. So this is going to be open source. If you want to contribute to it, you can basically raise a PR. Otherwise, when I get the time, I can also do it as well. I think one of the things that we could do that I think I stopped it from was, give me 1 second. In the index HTML, I did say that it won't be able to maximum scale 1 and user scale none. So this is something that I did. Um, I don't know. We can remove this, to be honest. I think we can remove this. So I'm going to push the code right now, Shazib, and you can double check if it works. I'm going to also check it as well. Commit, fix. Let's call it fix index, allow scaling or zooming, panning by user. I think that should fix the resizable thingy that you mentioned. Zishan Ilya says mostly Indian people say that Munstack now has been dead. No, I don't. I Whoever says that, I am usually like, no, nobody knows that. When I started my career about 12, no, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, somebody said, or people used to say that PHP is dead. It's not dead, it's still. It's still alive. So, yeah, I would say just ignore. There's no point in discussing this. Should we start looking into. Did I share the VS Code link in the chat? I did, right? Yeah, I did. So, verse number should also be bound. That's one of the things that my wife was testing the application, and yes, then I realized. But maybe what we could do is, should we try should we try to do it via. I'm really hesitant to use. lovable again, but we could also say something like this. So let's use AI for it, right? Because it's common knowledge, so AI should know it. So let's say create a JavaScript function that analyzes, or let's say that gives, or that takes a number which is surah or verse, no, surah or chapter of the Quran, and the maximum sends back a maximum verses number in that chapter, right? Let's make it like this, and then we can implement that in there. So now here it's actually returning the surah verse counts. There we go. We'll fix that, okay? Live stream using AI. Zishan says, my problem is when I try to code again after 15 days. Oh, let's actually go full screen. So Zishan says, my problem is when I try to code again after 15 days, then mostly I forget 50% syntax. This way feeling not well. In order to actually memorize the syntax, you have to do it like 6 to 7 times. So are you doing it 6 to 7 times and then you forget? I don't think that's usually the case. It's like you try something once and then you're expecting yourself to remember it. That's not how this works. So you need to do it a couple of times, and once you do it a couple of times, then you remember it. And when you do it, you try to, there's something called, recalling. So you try to memorize and then you recall. That's a part of, remembering something. So you try to do it, code it again, and then you recall it. Then you try to do it yourself 1 or 2 times, then you remember it. But I usually don't do it at all because I can always Google, and it's not bad to Google. You're checking it on laptop, Shazib says. Interesting. Interesting. Um, let's quickly check one thing. And I want to see why this keeps on loading and loading. Why does it keep loading? I don't know. Is there something within the code that makes it so, or what? So you said when we are creating a new pass and we do it like this and you do it like this, then I don't think people are going to do it, to be honest. To be honest, I don't think. It's a good thing to fix, but I don't think there's something that we should be worried about, to be honest. We could make it so that this view is scrollable. That's a different thing. But I don't think this is. How long have we been live for? Because now I'm missing my kid. 53. So we have 7 more minutes. Good. I'm taking one more question before we go back to the code. Sir, I'm doing an internship at a software house as a PHP developer, and I'm working on a project that I have to build from scratch. And the question is, how do you build a solution? What's the approaches for building a software from scratch? I want to learn. The way to do it would be to build software. And that's what it is. To you need to start working on something. You get into issues, you fix those issues, and that's how you learn. So there's no shortcut to it. The experience, when we talk about experience of a developer, that is that the person got stuck into issues and then solved those issues and then gained the experience. So one of the things as freshers, what we don't really realize is that we try to avoid getting into mistakes, or we try to avoid mistakes at all time, or avoid getting into issues or getting stuck into issues, whereas that is exactly what gives you experience, right? So in general, don't be worried about what the wrong approach could be. Just try it out and see what works for you. I hope that answers the question. Okay, so one of the things that we need to do, we will do two things, and I'm probably not going to take any more questions because we have to wrap up. So one, we'll go with Shazib's sort of point on not, you know, trying to give this or trying to resize it too much. I think it's we do have something that probably allows us to manage that nicely. So we got the text area here, right? Text area, text area, text area, text area. Right here we have it, and then we say rows, and we say 3, right? Do we have max rows? We have max length, but that's not exactly the same thing. If I say 300, that doesn't really fix that. Let's see. So stopping or HTML text area max rows. By the way, this is how you do it. This is how you develop. So you Google stuff. So there's no shame in it, to be honest. Rows 10 calls 10. No. No, I don't think there's a good way to do it. We would have to just say resize none. It actually has it here, but why does it not apply then? This doesn't apply to this. Why? I think that's because the class is not applied. Resize vertical. Where does this come from? I think it's not applied because of not being important, I think. Let's see if I have a let's go with text area, and we say apply resize none. Go here, there we go, and then we try to do new pass. Let's see. Resize vertical. Want to see if this gets applied or not. No, it doesn't. So let's have a look. So we have voice recorder here. We have the text area here, and then we have resize. We don't have resize here, but let's go here and say resize none. Okay, so now we have set it properly. Also, it shows a white screen after we create a pass until we do Control-Shift-R. Interesting. We'll have a look at that. Let's do things one by one. So if I go and say, by the way, do we have a way of deleting the pass at the moment? Yes or no? I don't think we have a way of deleting a pass, right? Let's first fix the note thingy. So here we take this function. So let's copy the text, and we go to our lib, we go to utils, and we can say this guy right here. Okay, get max first number. So we go here, we go to voice recorder, and we should have something here. So we first set the surah number and then the verse number. Is it in the notes? I think it's in the notes list. No, note form. So here we have, right? So we first make this disabled if okay, so we do have if we are submitting it's disabled. So we not only do it disabled when submitting, but if we don't have a value for surah. Okay, so if we don't have a value for surah, then we also keep it disabled. Then when it changes, we're gonna set the value of the maximum verse here as well. So minimum is 1, right? The max here is max verse, right? And we create a state variable for this here. So here we say cons max verse set max verse equals use state, and it should be a number, and by default um, we can basically have it anything like 0. We can start with that, but when we have the value from here, then we say set max verse, and then we get the max verse from utils. So we have get max number. Are we exporting this function? No. Export. Then we do a max number, and then we send it e.target.value. But I think this is going to be string, right? Okay, so we get the surah number here, which we need to parse then. So we can parse it because the values should not be okay. This should actually be number. And this should be bound to say number here. So now this throws an error which we want actually. So we do parse int, then we say e.target.value, and we save this guy, and then we try it here. So if I try to say here the verse number is not there. If we say 1, you can say it goes to verse 7. If I say 2, then you can see it goes all the way. I think it's 260, 265 or something like that. We'll let it go. I'm gonna have to be patient. No, it's 286. So now we have it. All right. Shahzeb, are you happy with this? No problem, Thamil. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so we can have these properly. So 1, 7, and then we can say test, save this. So we got the words here. Okay. Good. What else did you say? When we create a reading pass, its name is cut from the bottom. Cut from the bottom. Let's have a look. So there were 2 things. You said verse number should be bound. We already did that. There was one more thing that you said. Yeah, when we're creating a pass. So test pass, we go with this guy, and we add. Did you talk about description? The name is cut from the bottom. Or let's say a test pass that has a too big of a name, and then we also add like a big description like this. Then we create it. Okay, so something went wrong here. Something broke actually. Cannot read properties of reading to date. Okay, so something here actually broke. That's not good. Why is that so? Now you can see, so because I actually used an AI to generate the project, I don't know what's going on here, right? But if I refresh, it's gonna be fine. Oh, but I remember actually facing the same issue. Okay, so here you see the test. This is good. Type small g in reading pass name and it will cut from the bottom. Ah, here, so I can see the big here. Okay, now I understand what you mean. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. And this is also white, I don't know why. It should actually not be white. Anyway, so let's fix this thing here. That was set projects. So here we have, right, the new project which we are creating here. Let's also go to Firebase. I'm gonna quickly go to the project. Give me 1 second. Firestore Firebase. So we can come back here. Let's have a look at this. So we have projects and we got this guy, this guy, this guy. Hey, you're gonna have to delete all of these. Okay, so this is mine. Let's first make the text a bit better. So this is H3. Where is the component here? Projects. So here we have, right? And no reading passes yet. No, that's not the one. If it's 0, then we show this. Okay, so here we have over ring and we have the header. The card header itself actually should have the title. So class name truncate, and then also it should have line height or h. I want to see. Okay, so this looks good now. So we don't have the G cut here, but let's go with a 6. I think 6 should be enough. No, 6 is not enough. 8. Okay, so this is not being cut. There's no option to delete. I know. It's fine. Also, this the header, the subheader. I don't know why it's white. That doesn't make sense. So card description is text primary foreground 80. I don't think this should be the case. What is the color of this guy? I don't think it has anything at all. So let's not use this. I don't like this. So it should be like black. But we could have this text primary. I think it should be text primary foreground maybe. Text primary foreground. I'm gonna have to see now. We don't. Oh, we do have tailwind. So here we have border, input, blah blah. Primary. Where are the colors? Primary. So here we have it. Primary foreground. Let's try. So we have white, completely white here. I don't know, the colors here are so weird. Because okay, I'm gonna have to see what are the colors being used here, for example. So here we are using HTML body. Wait, what happened? Let's see on HTML or body. So we have background color and then color foreground, right? So we can actually use text foreground if I do it like this. Okay, there we go. The black one. There we go. So created about this. Now let's use some of our code and some of AI. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna push this code, what we have so far, and then we're going to ask the AI tool to implement the delete feature. I don't want to do it myself. So git commit fix bugs or fix UI, fix issues reported by Shahzeb Zan. Okay, Shahzeb. So we push the code for you, and then we go there. And then we also, so we have the latest code here. So add the ability to delete a pass, and with it all the nodes should be deleted as well. I don't know if you can see this without my name being in the way, but you can see some of it. So add the ability to delete the pass, and with it delete the node should be deleted as well. I think that's that's good enough. Do we need to do anything else, Shahzeb? Because I don't want to give too many prompts. So we got this here. We got the nodes as well. New pass also is okay. I don't think there's too much, to be honest. I think we can do this, because every day you run out of free credits. So I'm usually very careful of what I'm asking. Let's have a look at what this says. So it's going to update the projects list component. Looks like set is deleting. So this is the batch delete that's going on. This is the part where it's deleting all the things. So nodes query, this is deleting all the nodes query with the project ID that is going to be deleted, and it's trying to do a batch. So if you see here, this is much nicer and faster as well. See, this is super nice. So let's see if this is done. The code is still being written. Okay, so implemented the ability to delete. This should also be now in the code. So I'm gonna go and pull the code. Git pull. Okay, so we have these things that we got now. Let's check it out. So if I refresh now, go to my app, I don't see a delete button at the moment. I don't see a note as well. Where do I delete? Have I? Oh, so I had to do a Control Shift R. I think that's also because we have loading machine opening the link without page name like dashboard etc. Do you mean if I go like this? Could you explain a bit more? What do you mean? So here, one of the things that's causing a bit of trouble, as you see here, is the service worker. So I have to really do a Control Shift R. Otherwise, the new updates won't really be there. We'll see. But here I can start deleting it. So for example, let's create a bit of notes here. So I can say, so here, I don't know, why do we have two here now? Did we have this like before as well? No? I hope not. We had two nodes before as well. That's absurd. Okay. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we do have both of them. That I did not notice. I think we would have to probably remove one of those, to be honest, because changing something here changes this, putting something here doesn't, which is a bit weird. Anyways, let's do it. So we say 1, we say 9, we say save node. Okay, it allows us not to do it. Good. So we do a save node. And now if I go back here, I can click here. You can see here we have the node. So if I delete this guy, and I want to see the node here as well. So this is like ASD. I hope I'm the only one who's doing it. So nodes. I think this is the one. 11.8. Yeah, that's the one. So if I delete the nodes, it should actually delete. If I delete the pass, it should actually delete the nodes as well. So if I go here, this should be gone, hopefully. Cannot read properties of undefined, reading for each, of course. So it did not delete it. If I refresh now, was this guy deleted? No. Control Shift R, delete. No, doesn't work. Okay, I think I'm gonna fix it later because we are more than 1 hours into it. So let's wrap it up. Because if I continue doing it, I'm gonna continue it for a long time. So thank you everyone, and I'll see you later. Web3 or full stack Java developer is a message here. I would say full stack Java developer. Uh, this link, but Quran note. I think yeah, I know why that. I think that's because of the. That's because of. That's because of the progressive web app thingy that we have here. I'm gonna have to remove that. Yeah, yeah, I understand. I'm gonna fix that. Not now, but I'll fix it later. Thank you everyone who joined. I'm gonna see you next time. I'm gonna go to my kid. Take care.